SCTV, Kids in the Hall. Some of the greatest comedians in the world have come from Canada. Also, Steven Crowder came from there. So this video is about, it's titled something about Billie Eilish, but of course, it's an hour long and it's packed to the brim with nonsense and silly, funny, goofy things. So let's look at a few before we get to whatever he says about Billie Eilish.
And by the way, here's the thing, too. This is, first off, it's just China's laughing at us. They just banned feminism in China, in the Chinese military.
Wow.
Dang it.
And they don't even have a thing. If you try and explain, you try and ask them or call them on it, like, well, why would you ban feminism? It's like, oh, because women weak.
Why would you not?
We want military to be physically strong. Yeah. Sorry. So you maybe confused Western world.
Couple things here. First of all, if you're going to do an accent with a racist intent, at least learn how to do the accent. Put in a little work on learning how to do the accent correctly, right? Maybe that's why the comedy career didn't work out so well. Not willing to put in the work. Maybe that's why the comedy career... Maybe that's why the comedy career...
Make pee-pee.
Hey, Patton Oswalt, can you come in here really quick? Maybe that's why the comedy career didn't work out so well. When he says in China feminism is being banned, feminism is being banned. But what he's talking about here is there's a bunch of shutdowns of Chinese social media accounts of prominent feminists. So just to get this straight, this is a guy, Steven Crowder, who... I mean, of course, everything's a scam with this guy, but he says he's going to sue Facebook for censorship. These guys, we're all being censored. They're all crying and doing this in their pants over being censored on social media. And now he's in support of Chinese social media censorship all of a sudden. Beep boop, ba-da-da-da-doot-doot-doot. My dumb brain can't keep it all straight. Boing boing. My pudding brain can't keep all the things I say straight on my show.
If you type in Steven Crowder, change my mind, seems pretty specific.
Yeah.
All of the first page video results are from other channels. Not some, all of them.
Yeah, that's because we need YouTube to be strong, not weak. Okay, skipping ahead, we get into some marriage stuff. This is actually pretty interesting topic. Here we go.
This ultimate.
Yeah.
Oh, but you know what? Hey, sure, men are leaving the marriage pool in record numbers, right? They don't want to father children. They don't want to pay child support at this point. Women are finding themselves lonely, single, higher rates of depression, unhappy. They realize in their 40s that careers aren't all that fulfilling. But good, you know what? Good thing is you can join the CIA without apparently no PT requirements there. So.
Okay, women are blowing it. You broads out there are blowing it. Men don't want to marry you.
Then expect them to be nice and kind and loving when it comes time to get married.
You can't talk about how awful men are and how you don't need a man, how you don't want a man, and then be 35, realize your window is closing and wondering where all the good men are going to and they don't want to marry you. I don't need a man to be happy. You will.
So you kind of see what case we're building here, right? These uppity broads. That's what it is. These uppity broads.
You're kind of like a snotty-faced bitch.
They're mean to men. And so men don't want to marry them. And also these women are like, they want careers. And then they realize, I should have got married. I blew it. That's what's happening. That's the problem. That's why people aren't getting married.
As soon as young boys are old enough to understand that they want to have a life and family, we are made very aware, acutely aware, that you are going to have to provide and protect for the rest of your life. That's your responsibility. We don't get that choice. I would argue that women have more choices, and certainly choices with less pressure.
Cornell University did a big study on this, and here's, I'll just read from this article that quotes it. And here comes Cornell with its conclusion. This study reveals large deficits in the supply of potential male spouses. This is their explanation for why marriage rates are falling. And a quote from the study's lead author. Most American women hope to marry, but current shortages of marriageable men with a stable job and good income, make this increasingly difficult. Especially in this is very important, this next part, especially in the current gig economy of unstable, low-paying service jobs. In other words, this idiot, this absolute chowderhead buffoon moron on YouTube who gets 1 million views for every video that he uploads. All his right-wing policies of no social safety net and no minimum wage and wild inequality and stuff, the stuff that he's really paid to defend, is the exact thing that's causing what he's whining about. Okay?
Big old doinks. Big old doinks.
The second part, he's kind of like acting like he's sticking up for men. Sort of. This is part of the little of this that he's doing. He's like, it's unfair. It's unfair. Women actually have more choices than men, because men, when they're young, have a sort of there's an implied vibe that in order to have a family and you need to be able to provide for that family. And in fact, in this study, most people interviewed are kind of traditional in that respect, where they're like, yeah, something like 71% said it was very important for a man to be able to support a family, but only 32% said the same for a woman. So actually, people are way more traditional, leaning in his direction than he's like presenting, and then, women are all out of control and they're being mean to men. Well, actually, the studies prove that people are actually pretty traditional in general. But he's really sticking up for men. He's like, it's implied to us that we have to provide for a family. So I'm with my men. Dudes rock. White boy summer. That's Steven Crowder really sticking up for the dudes. Except, again, the past, 60 years of right-wing policies and right-wing economics has led to, especially in the current gig economy, of unstable, low-paying service jobs. So you'll hear these guys talk about this all the time. Marriage will fix everything. If they really want it, if they really believe this, which they don't, it's absolute BS and bullcrap, they would make sure that this doesn't happen. A gig economy of unstable, low-paying service jobs. And I would add to that, like, no social safety net, and of course Steven Crowder and all these guys are against minimum wage, and and what do you think that leads to? It's sort of like saying, let me see if I could stretch my noodle decrepit brain to come up with a metaphor. It's sort of like if you're outside in the rain, right? This is what idiots like Steven Crowder are doing. If you're outside in the rain and you're getting wet, right? And you're like, man, I need to get dry. I should go inside. And then Steven Crowder comes up and he says, you know what you should do? You should get dry first. You're out in the rain. You should get dry first, and then you'll be more likely to get inside. Hi, I'm Steven. It's just super funny. Like, it just shows you how little these guys care about this stuff. Like how, he's like, I'm a Christian and I believe there should be more marriage. Okay, well, here's the cause. Here's why people aren't getting married. We have a bunch of studies on this, and it all coming up with the same reason. Yeah, but I work for very wealthy billionaires who don't like that kind of stuff. So I will do this in my pants now. Okay, so then we get into some Billie Eilish territory.
Narcissistic personality disorder. Billie Eilish.
Hey,
you got it right.
Did a photo shoot for British Vogue. Hey, must have stolen those from Elliot Page's lawn sale.
Make pee-pee.
So while we're on the subject of how awful men are and how they're all the abusers, she said this about men, Billie Eilish. She said, I really think the bottom line is men are very weak. Well, imagine if those roles were reversed. I just think the bottom line is women are really weak. Now, she doesn't say men are really weak, I don't know, maybe just emotionally, or men are weak, and she just says weak, and she just says men are weak. Men are weaker than women. And she goes on to say it's just so easy for them to lose it. You expect the dude not to grab you if you're wearing that dress. Seriously, you're that weak. Come on, go masturbate. Okay, good. Let me just point out really quickly before we move on to some other points in this article, which I wouldn't care about if not for the fact that I have to.
Yeah.
Without men, none of this interview would be possible. So the interview was given to British Vogue.
He's really going after the heavy hitters here. A 19-year-old pop star. So Billie Eilish said, I can't believe I'm talking about Billie Eilish. Billie, I think it's just so easy for them to lose it. Quote, you expect a dude not to grab you if you're wearing that dress. Seriously, you're that weak. So she's talking about being grabbed. Very clear here. So it's in the context of like, hey, if you kind of like are grabby, if you're like assaulting people, you're weak. Pretty uncontroversial thing if you think about it in context. But whatever, it doesn't matter with this idiot. And then he goes on. So men are weak if they're men who grab women. Men who assault women are weak. And then he goes, well, men invented the microphone. Accidentally proving her point that there are many weak-brained men out there. So let's hear. So a 19-year-old woman says, hey, I don't like being grabbed and assaulted. And here's what a grown man says in reply.
And one of the points that she made, I want to make this because women misunderstand this. They think it's just like we just don't have self-control. When she says, come on, are you serious? You're just going to lose it like that? Go and, you know what she said, right? We are hardwired for this. You have no idea what it's like. And I mean that. If any woman out there is pissed off at me right now, you're wrong. You have no idea what it's like to be a 16-year-old male trying not to think about sex. I don't care what you're wearing. Just hard enough as it is. But you add on top of it.
She was very clearly talking about like unwanted grabbing. And this guy goes into men have needs. Men have certain needs. Oh no, he's going into his men have needs speech again in the context of a woman saying she doesn't want to be grabbed. Uh-oh.
Make pee-pee.
No. Those are naughty thoughts.
Thank God. So Steve, the genius, the rational guy on the show, Steve jumps in.
Just hard enough as it is. But you add on top of it the kind of things that people, kind of dresses or the kind of outfits. Or
and to be clear, whatever it is, if any guy touches you inappropriately, they should be buried beneath the tracks.
Absolutely. 100% of the time.
But
you cannot, and I'll get to some other quotes, you cannot change that man's perception of you.
Right.
That man's perception of you will.
Okay, but that is not at all what she was talking about, buddy. Do we have to read the quote again? I think it's just so easy for them to lose it. You expect a dude not to grab you if you're wearing that dress. And again, what they're really doing here is throwing a little bit of red meat to like, dudes, men are oppressed, like they're sort of suburban goofball viewers. You know, it's all like, there's probably some people in their 20s who watch this who are like, women, I'm the strong man and women are weak and I have to provide for them. Okay, buddy. But you know that this guy, everything that he stands for and all the people that he works for who pay him are literally working so that you cannot do, as we've seen in a study, so that you cannot provide for the woman of the relationship, right? They're literally working against you, these guys, on your terms.
You're a hypocrite if you want to show your skin and you're easy and you're a slut and you're a whore. If I am, then I'm proud. Well, wonderful. Me and all the girls and hoes, and fuck it, you know, let's turn it around and be empowered in that. Showing your body and showing your skin or not should not take any respect away from you. Okay, here's the thing. It does, though. It does.
Yeah.
Shouldn't take any respect. Doesn't matter. Guess what? If a young boy sees it, and here's the thing, you can still be plenty attractive. I will tell you this. As a young, let's just use as an example, we were all sort of young Christians here, right? Yeah. And so we would see attractive girls, for example, at church, youth group, or at school.
Yeah.
You would see an attractive girl, and then you would see an attractive girl dressed like a prostitute. Now, they're both the same level of attractive. However, you think of one primarily and only sexually, and you think of another one as one you respect and one who you'd be interested in courting. That's a fact. You can say you wish that.
So she says basically, if you want to show your skin, that makes you a slut. And then she's like, well, if I am, then I'm proud. But notice she's like, if you want to do that, you should be exactly who you feel like you are and want to be in that moment. Otherwise, you're going to go insane. This is the kind of stuff she's saying. She's like, she's saying the radical thing that a 19-year-old would say of be yourself. Be yourself. And if somebody says that you're a piece of shit, don't listen to them. What a radical message from Billie. Oh my God.
Booga laka booga blah 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 blah.
That's what it sounds like to me. Makes me want to. If you hear Billie Eilish saying this, you are
morally obligated to beat a kid in Walmart.
So he's saying kind of a little bit of an old-timey thing, a thing that I've heard a bunch throughout my life, which is like, oh, like that woman is not marriage material because she dresses provocatively. I'm 90 years old. But what she's saying basically is like the great Billie Eilish, who I go to for all my, sort of relationship-related things and sort of economics and sociology and all this stuff, is she's saying like, dress the way you want and embrace it or whatever. And Steven Crowder's like, well, you're not going to get married like that. But another sort of obvious dimwit, even a dimwit could figure this out way to look at it is if you're kind of not being yourself and then you get married and then like years later into a marriage, you're like, actually, I like to dress like this or I like to do this or what's really going on in here that projects itself out through how I present myself and all this is actually different than when I met you. You think that could maybe cause some problems with the marriage a little bit?
It isn't.
What?
By the way, it is shocking. It is shocking, this Billie Eilish transformation. Look at this transformation somebody tweeted. Billie Eilish went from this, look at this, look at that, to this. Oh my God. Wait, let me get a look at that. Wait. From that. What? No, this can't be right. Those are two different women. Those are two different women. Damn you. That's not. No, they photoshopped that. Billie Eilish went from this, wearing a sweater, to this, wearing different clothes. What? No. Is that legal? Calm down. 98,000 likes and 33,000 quote tweets for this. I remember when I was a kid, that movie She's All That came out. You guys, everyone knows what I'm going to say, but I can't believe She's All That is still happening, but it's a real girl. Wait a second. Wait to back up, buddy. You're telling me that girl wearing a sweater is also that same girl wearing a bra? Yeah, right. Prove it. With receipts. This is part of having a YouTube channel that anyone pays attention to, is you can just make fun of everybody. Steven Crowder's an idiot. This person on Twitter is an idiot. But not me. I'm very smart.
Booga laka booga blah 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 blah.
Well, guys, thank you for staring at this. And hopefully you are eating a treat or something to make it a little bit more tasty. And I will see you later. Hey everybody, and thanks so much for watching this video. Like all the other YouTube and podcast perverts, I now have a Patreon. Every week on this Patreon, I'm uploading 2 Patreon exclusive shows. They're like real shows, more produced, more edited.
A behind-the-scenes show where I reveal all my secrets, and a show where we go deep on an important topic that you will want to know about. Also, you get the daily and complete live show audio-only feeds. And at the top level, for only 25 bones, you can become a producer. These people that you're seeing right here make this program possible. Without them, nothing. It goes right in the toilet, right in the trash, and we set it on fire. It's these people who make it work. So please, for Christ's sake, become a patron. Bye-bye, love you.